Hey everyone, Troy Kepnish, one of the Fleet Operations Officers for Fire and Rescue New South Wales. We're here today to have a look at the Fleet Management Unit for Fire and Rescue New South Wales, our headquarters here at Greenacre. If you want to leave some comments at the bottom, send some questions through, we'll try and answer them where we can. The Fleet Management Unit within Fire and Rescue manage around 700 odd heavy vehicles or major fleet appliances across the strait, and about 250 minor fleet vehicles as well, including trailers and the assorted equipment that we use across the state. The unit itself has about 50 personnel. That's a combination of admin staff, operational personnel like myself, and trade staff, as well as fleet projects and engineers that manage the project. So first we're going to have a look at, as behind me today, is the two of our transport vehicles that we actually use to transport vehicles across the state. These two floats, or low loaders as some people normally refer them to, are basically used to transport the trucks across the state, whether that be for breakdown or new appliances being installed. The transport and recovery section within the unit has 6 drivers that manage the movement of trucks all across the state. Also manages the recovery of vehicles that are bogged or may have been broken down. As we move across, the appliances up on our right here are all spare appliances that Fire and Rescue use to continue operations. We have a fleet of about 60 SEV appliances across the state. An SEV appliance is basically a loan appliance. It's a service exchange vehicle that we use to fill the whole of an operational appliance while it may have been broken down or getting service done.
How will people know if a station has an SEV vehicle?
So as we see on this appliance here on the door, all our SEV appliances are marked with the SEV on the door. Normally on your normal station, you'll see the station name on the side of the truck. With SEVs, we put SEV on the side there so we know it's a service exchange appliance. This appliance itself is one of the aerial platforms. This is one of our spares that we use to maintain that operational capability in the stations when they do lose their normal truck for either servicing or maintenance procedures.
What type of licence do you need to drive this particular
vehicle here is a heavy rigid licence. This appliance itself, weight-wise, is around 18 tonne. This is the heaviest appliances that we can carry within our floats or our low loaders. Anything above that weight, we actually engage contractors heavy vehicle contractors to move the appliances around. So the admin unit within fleet management look after all the minor fleet vehicles. As I said, we have around about 260 odd minor fleet vehicles within the organisation. Those vehicles range from a lot of manufacturers, from Kia, Mitsubishi. Just depends on what the role of the motor vehicle or the minor fleet vehicle is as to what the manufacturer is that we use. As we walk through here, we're just coming up to now what we call the Black Beast. This appliance is a bulk water tanker that was donated to Fire and Rescue from New South Wales Police. It did have a previous life as a unit within the police for counter-terrorism and crowd control. The vehicle was repurposed for Fire and Rescue New South Wales late last year to assist in the bushfires. The vehicle carries about 13,000 litres of water and had been out at Cobar during the bushfires and had assisted on many fires during that time. We've currently brought it into Greenacre here to be worked on and just to be checked over and serviced. We normally do that with a lot of our bushfire firing appliances during the off-season or during winter, so that when summer comes back around again, we know that those appliances are good to go again.
Michael from Germany has said good morning.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Okay, where are we off to?
Workshops. As I said, within the fleet management unit as well, we have a fleet projects unit now. That fleet projects unit consists of about 6 staff that are all fleet project officers. Those project officers take a project from inception of a vehicle that we may need for a certain purpose. They deal with all the financing, construction, all the way to delivery to the fleet officer. Now, one of those appliances, as we see in front of us, is a perfect example. This appliance in front of us at the moment is our latest Bronto Skylift, 45 metre FL45RX appliance. It's the first of 4 ladder platforms to be delivered to fire and rescue over the next 6 to 12 months. This appliance itself has been, as you can see, assigned to the Parramatta Fire Station. We're just in the final stages of commissioning before it's sent out to training, and then it will be positioned in station.
So Amy's asked, do they require other driver's licences to operate?
No, Amy, all our heavy vehicles within fire and rescue either require a medium rigid or a heavy rigid licence to drive. The heavy rigid licence is restricted to those vehicles that have twin dual axles, like the Bronto appliance that's in front of us at the moment.
So how do you know if a vehicle is a twin axle?
Yep, so you'll see at the rear, there'll be two drive wheels at the rear of the appliance, or the rear of the truck. That will make it heavy rigid.
Okay.
So if we walk back around and have a look at the side of the Bronto Skylift, we've currently got some of our tradespeople just working on it, ensuring that everything is right to go for its commissioning and sending to training. This is one of the tallest ladder platforms in Australia at the moment. We currently have a 44 metre. This one beats it by a metre. So it will be the tallest ladder platform in Australia once it goes into service. And as I said, 4 of these are currently on order. First one delivered and 3 more to come in the near future.
So Amy's also asked if most fireys have an HR licence or if they have an MR licence.
The majority of firefighters in Fire Rescue New South Wales have a medium rigid licence. You'll find the ones that need the heavy rigid licence are normally the ladder platform operators or anyone that's operating a heavy tanker that has that dual axles on the rear. They are required to have that heavy rigid licence. Fire and Rescue New South Wales actually do licensing internally within our appliance training units. So even if you come into the organisation without a licence, appliance training can upgrade your licence depending upon where you may be stationed or what the requirements of your station are.
Awesome. Megan has also just quickly asked, how many people do you have working in the workshop?
Good question, Megan. I was just about to say that as we walk across. So the fleet management unit itself's got around about 50 odd staff. And as I said, that's a combination of admin, operational like myself, and tradespeople. So the tradespeople themselves, there's about 35 tradespeople on the floor in the workshops here as we see. Now those tradespeople are mechanics, diesel mechanics, we've got auto electricians, we've got body fitters and coach builders. So that's how we basically maintain our fleet of fire appliances. Where we are at the moment is what we call the workshop. This workshop was built back in about 1984, I think it opened. It can house around about 30 odd appliances at any one time to be repaired. One of the features at the time that we were the only fire service to have at the time was we turn around and have a look is our aerial bay. So we've actually got an indoor area with an elevated roof that allows us to elevate our ladder platforms and aerial appliances within a closed environment that it's not susceptible to the weather like it is today. So that's one feature that within the building that was built back then. At the time it was a state-of-the-art facility and still serves fire and rescue very well.
So Hector from Chile has tuned in as well. We've also had you're obviously an operational firefighter yourself and have come through.
I'm an operational firefighter. I'm currently at the rank of acting inspector within the position as a fleet operations officer. So within fleet management, where there's 2 fleet operations officers, we work on a back-to-back roster. We're on call of a night. Our main responsibility is to ensure the maintenance of the fleet across the state, as well as the movement of appliances. And we also are required to respond to incidents of fourth alarm or greater to assist with aerial operations, make sure all the appliances are running as they should, and to advise the incident controller on any strategies around movement of appliances, refuelling and those sorts of things.
So what in your career has been some of the least appealing parts of being a firefighter?
The least appealing parts is having to get up at night at all hours of the morning when it's very, very cold. Unfortunately, even now I still have to do that. And that's probably one of the most least appealing parts, is having to get out of bed on a warm bed and have to go to a call. But that's the commitment the fire and rescue firefighters make across the state, whether it be permanent or retained firefighters. A lot of guys just do it because they enjoy giving to the community.
So when the bushfires were on, we saw a lot of the workshop guys out and about helping us on fire grounds. What was that like to manage? Have you done that before?
I was fortunate enough that I had managed a couple of bushfire campaigns prior to that. I have been in this position at the moment for around about 4 months. I did 9 years prior to that as a relieving fleet officer, so I had a lot of experience on some other campaigns. During the bushfires, this place didn't look like this at all. We had very minimal amount of trucks here. All our guys and all our tradespeople were out in the field, basically managing to service and maintain all the appliances in the fleet. So at that time, here was very quiet, not like it is now. But in the field, the guys were working very long hours to maintain, and they did a great job of maintaining the appliances for all the staff out there across numerous fire grounds. Personally, that was the busiest time I've ever seen within Fire and Rescue New South Wales during those months during the bushfire campaign.
So 3-year-old Jack has said hello and that he wants to be just like you guys when he grows up.
Thanks, Jack.
Should we take a bit of a wander down?
Let's take a wander and see some of the mechanics. As you can see, we've got a wide range of appliances here. The appliances in Fire and Rescue New South Wales, we run with classification. So we call them Class 1s, Class 2s, Class 3s, aerials and so on. Our Class 1s appliances are, in broad terms, our Class 1s are our bushfire tankers. Class 2 appliances, as over here, Class 2 appliance is based on pump capacity up to about 3,000 litres per minute. Generally, the Class 2 appliances will be housed within retained fire stations across the state. We then look at our Class 3 appliances, which has a pump capacity of around about 4,000 litres a minute. These are the majority of the appliances that are in the permanent fire stations, and also some of the retained fire stations around the state.
So these are the ones that people are going to see?
These are the ones that people are going to see out on the road all the time. As we said before, for instance, this one here with Cogra, you can see that the stations take a lot of pride in having the name and number on the side of the truck. They don't normally like it when they get a service exchange truck. They normally like their own truck. So they're very quick to hand their old truck back and get back to a comfort.
So what is the process when a truck goes out to a station? How does the truck get there? What does the crew do?
So within the metro areas and also the regional areas, the truck will be moved out there within the metro areas by the transport officers. So the transport and recovery operators will move the replacement truck out to the station. The firefighters at the station what we do is what we call a restow. So a restow is basically changing the equipment from one truck to the other truck so that equipment stays on the appliance. So when we move the trucks in and out of places, they actually get moved without any gear on them. When they get to the station, that gear's then swapped over. And the truck will be brought back here to the workshops, brought into here, depending upon whether it's a servicing or repairs or what it might need. Okay. We do use a large quantity of contractors, both within the Sydney metro area and also regionally, to assist. There's a lot of repairs that we can't do in-house, so those repairs are sent out to contractors both regionally and also in the metro area. So obviously support local business in that respect.
So this morning we went out to our communications centre and we saw the MCC, or the Mobile Command Centre.
Yes, so you would have seen MCC Bravo this morning. This is the MCC Alpha. So we have two of the Mobile Command is out here getting some repairs done to it. The guys are just working on the expandable sections within the unit to ensure they're operating correctly. As you can see, the guys have actually just got one of the panels here open at the moment, and that'll just show you the amount of electronics and wiring that go into these vehicles.
So a fairly specialised role.
It is a very specialised role. The auto electricians that work within the section are very specialised to work out exactly what is going on with all that wiring in there. These vehicles, the MCCs, were actually built by Varley up at Newcastle. A lot of our vehicles are built within New South Wales. We use many contractors, both Varley and Newcastle, Coopers at Windsor, SEM in Victoria, at Paul and Warner in Sydney as well, to do a lot of our body work and repairs. Alexander Perry as well, which were the company that was involved in the ladder platform, in our new ladder platforms.
So we've got a lot of these little silver vehicles sitting in here. They're not red light fire trucks?
No, they're not red light fire trucks. So the silver vehicles you can see in front of us are actually our trade staff's vehicles. So we use those, the mechanics, body fitters, and also the auto electricians will have these service vehicles. Within that service vehicle it's basically a little toolbox on wheels. Has all their tools, all the equipment they might need to do repairs in the field or at a fire station. We do probably 75 to 80% of our repairs in station where we can, because this obviously avoids having to bring the truck back in for a restart. Okay, so it saves that truck going offline, stops the station going offline. So a lot of our repairs are done in station by the guys. And you would be surprised how much or how major a repair they can actually do in station. It saves time, it saves us having to bring the appliance back in for repairs.
So are the trade staff that you have, are they operational as well?
No, so all the trade staff aren't operational, so they're not firefighters. They're, as I said, trade mechanics, whether it be diesel mechanics, normal mechanics, body fitters, coach builders, or the auto electricians. So if you have a look in front of us at the moment, the guys are actually just moving one of the bodies off one of the vehicles that's currently being repaired. If we actually walk down there and just have a look at the guys as they move the body back onto one of the appliances. So a lot of times what we'll have to do is, if we have to do pump repairs or any body repairs, the appliances are built so that we can take the body and the pump off very easily. The pump simply just slides out the back, and the body itself unbolts from the main body chassis of the truck and can just be lifted off. So at the moment, this body has just returned from repairs at one of our contractors. So the guys are just moving the body back onto the chassis of the truck. It's a fairly delicate operation. As you can see, there's a lot of wires and wiring harness on the chassis of both the body and the truck. And they have to make sure that when that goes on, that it marries up nicely and they don't do any more damage to the body getting it back on. Hence why we've got the big heavy duty cranes within the workshops here that make that job a lot easier.
So we've just had a question come through about what that white unmarked truck was behind the new tech support truck.
The white truck behind the tech support truck, that would probably be one of our contractors. So as I said, we operate with contractors within the workshops as well. If it's a Fire and Rescue New South Wales mechanic, you'll see that the vehicle will have our badges and will have our reflective tape on it, but it might be a white truck. The standard white trucks that may not have any of the markings, that will be one of our contractors that assist in the workshops and getting all the work done.
So how often do fire trucks get services done? Is it like normal maintenance?
It's normal maintenance like you do on your car. It's normal maintenance on your car. A lot of times it will depend upon, like your normal car, how many kilometres you do. The busier trucks will get serviced more often. Generally the trucks will get serviced every 6 months, at least, as a minimum. And then obviously will get repaired at any time that there's faults or anything like that get found with the appliances. As I said, we have a myriad of vehicles, not just heavy vehicles, but also minor vehicles. Behind us is one of our urban search and rescue Mules which is a Kawasaki quad. That's utilised by USAR on sites to move equipment and personnel around on stable sites during USAR operations. Once again, we do maintenance on that as well. We do the oil change, we do the filters. As you can see, one of the mechanics is currently just working on it, doing the oil change. Just like your normal car, just on a bigger scale.
So are the appliances or the vehicles that we have in Fire and Rescue auto or manual?
So there's a combination. Our Class 3 appliances and all our aerial appliances are all automatics.
So Class 3 being?
Class 3 being our urban pumps.
Yep.
Okay. Our Class 2 appliances and and majority of our four-wheel drives, our Class 1s, four-wheel drive tankers, are also all manuals. Okay. That is changing as we change our vehicles through our replacement programs. You find a lot of our appliances now we're getting at their standard automatics. Very easy to drive. In front of us at the moment is another one of our aerial appliances. This one is what we call these are our turntable ladders. Fire and Rescue have two of these turntable ladders in service. This one's actually normally assigned to Woollahra Fire Station. The ladder itself will elevate and go up to a 30-metre height. It also allows an operator to operate in the cage at the front and for, if required, a water monitor that we put on there so it can spray water onto a fire from an elevated position. As we walk back down to the workshops, you'll see some vehicles. These are our pump modules. As I was saying before, it's very easy for us to take the pumps out of our appliances and also our bodies. These are two pump modules that have been taken out for repair. It allows the mechanics to work quite easily in making any repairs by just simply pulling the pump modules out, and they can be fixed quite easily, and they simply just slip back in, hook all the hoses back up, plug all the wires back in, and away we go. We're right to go again.
What is the lifespan of a fire truck, David wants to know, and how many Ks do they do before they get taken out of commission?
Our general lifespan of our appliances is around that 15 to 20 years. Some appliances we do have to run longer just because of replacement programs and delays in getting new appliances in. But we try and stick to that 15 to 20 years of replacements. Kilometre-wise, it depends. Some of our inner city stations can do well over 250, 300,000 kilometres before the trucks get replaced. Quieter areas, we will get some trucks come back from the sort of regional areas that may only do 30 to 40,000 kilometres in their lifetime. So there is a wide gap of the most kilometres and the less kilometres. But that's how our replacement program works. We obviously try and keep the age of our fleet down as much as we can within the financial restrictions as well as buying new appliances. One appliance I'd like to show you, and it's one that we actually don't really like to use very often. Just here on the left is our Bedford, and this is our Bedford Hearse. This is the appliance that we use for our ceremonial funerals. Unfortunately, at the moment, we've lost two firefighters in the last week on duty. This vehicle is dedicated to those firefighters and is used during the funerals to actually carry the coffin of those firefighters at brigade funerals. This vehicle itself is just currently in the process of being checked over, and it's going to be transported up to Ballina on Tuesday to undertake one of those funerals up at Ballina.
Where has this vehicle come from?
Normally this vehicle is housed out at the Museum of Fire. They gladly house the vehicle for us when it's not in use. Thankfully this year, and we haven't had to use it at all. Unfortunately, like I said, we've had two firefighters pass away just recently that will get used in the next couple of weeks. As I said, it's the appliance that we don't like to see very often, but sometimes it does have to come out and we have to use it.
We've just had a couple of questions from a few different people about whether you do any of the servicing of RFS vehicles.
No, we don't. So Fire and Rescue New South Wales only look after the fire and rescue appliances. Rural Fire Service look after their own appliances. In saying that though, during the bushfires that we had at the end of last year, both services were very much under pressure, and our mechanics in the same instance A lot of times there, we're actually sharing resources at fire control centres and staging areas, and RFS mechanics and contractors were working very closely in Fire and Rescue New South Wales contractors as well.
Amazing.
We'll go and have a look at our fleet of SCVs. As I said before, within the metro area, we have around about 30 odd service exchange vehicles, replacement loan vehicles. We also have those spread out throughout the state as well at strategic locations, so that if appliance was to break down at Ballina, for instance, we would have an appliance there quite quickly to be able to replace that and keep that station online. So it's a network of both spare appliances and contractors throughout the state. Outside of the GSA, our servicing and repairs are actually managed by what we call regional maintenance officers. We have 4 of those regional maintenance officers, one in Newcastle, one in Port Macquarie, one at Dubbo and one down at Wagga. And they manage the servicing and repairs of vehicles in those regional areas, and also the movement of vehicles around those areas as well. A lot of times, if they are major repairs, that's where the transport and recovery section will actually have to go out, retrieve those appliances and bring them back to the city for repair. So all these appliances here are basically available to me as it is. This end of the workshop, we put all our available appliances that if required we can use them. As you can see, there's a different couple of types of appliances. We've got some class 3 appliances here, the first 2. Class 2 appliance, some of our heavy rescue appliances as well, our SCVs.
So can you just run me through what the different classes are again?
Yeah, so we'll start here on the left, our class 3 appliance. So that's 4,000 litres a minute, urban pump, mainly for permanent stations. We also do have some in retained stations. The third pump along here, that's our class 2, so that's up to that 3,000 litre a minute pump. Mainly, or for all retained fire stations or on-call firefighters. We then have our class 1 tankers you might call them, which is the second one from the air. That's one of our forward drive tankers. Now, our forward drive tankers, about 3,000 litres a minute, 3,000 litre tank, I should say. Our class 2 appliances, 2,000 litres, and also our class 3 appliances, 2,000 litres. So when you work that out, 4,000 litre pump and 2,000 litres of water on board pretty much means that you can drain the tank very, very quickly if you were to use the pump at its capacity. So when firefighters turn up to a fire, they have that initial water to suppress the fire, but then they have to look for other sources of water to extinguish the fire.
How hard is it working with other areas in terms of working out weights for what goes on the trucks, how much they can carry?
Yeah, so that's where our fleet projects unit work very well. As I was saying before, fleet projects look after once an appliance is the inception, or we think that we need a certain capability, that will go to projects. Projects will look what's out there in the what's available to buy, as well as what specifications they're given by operational capability and what we need strategic capability, what that appliance wants to do, what its role will be. So that's all part of fleet projects. They'll look at what stowage needs to go on, what equipment needs to go on, how heavy is that equipment, will that then put the vehicle overweight. This is all part of the fleet projects unit on how they manage and how they deliver fire trucks to us.
So it's pretty amazing to see behind the scenes exactly what you guys do to keep us on the road and turning out.
It is. It's a 24/7 operation pretty much. When the guys aren't here, we have on-call staff as well, just like the firefighters. We have the availability to recall staff for tradespeople that when we have breakdowns after hours. As we know, the breakdowns don't always occur between 9 and 5. There are occasions where we will have breakdowns at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. As firefighters know, that's where the mechanics are on a 24-hour call, that we can utilise them to get the fire stations back on the road as quickly as we can.
All right, so we'll take the last 2 questions. There's one about the tech support vehicle.
tech support vehicle.
behind 11, which I'm hoping you know what that means, because
Yeah, let's say. So someone obviously spied that. So we'll go and have a look at the tech support vehicle.
And then while we're wandering that way, how much does a fire truck cost roughly?
So depending upon the style of truck, but for a normal class 3 appliance, we're looking around about four to $500,000.
And is that the truck itself, or is that all gear?
That's generally with all gear included as well. So someone obviously spied the tech support vehicle. This is one of our new vehicles. This was launched a little while ago by Commissioner Baxter out at the Academy. This is a new type of appliance for fire and rescue in New South Wales. At the moment, the guys are just undergoing some stowage fits. As you can see, we've just got some gear in there, just making sure it all fits in neatly. The tech support unit probably will be online in the very near future. Training hasn't been conducted yet, so once this vehicle is all passed and it's all commissioned, all the gear fits well, we'll hand it over to training, where training will start to train all the firefighters down in the Eurobodalla area. It'll be a great asset down in that area as well.
So while we love seeing inside the trucks, we would definitely much rather not have a truck turn up to people's houses.
Exactly right. You would rather go to a fire station and have a look at a fire truck than have to have a look at it in the street outside your house. So, and I'm sure once the COVID-19 restrictions are relaxed and you're able to get back to your local fire station, I'm sure the firefighters would love to see you there and to have a look over the trucks.
Perfect. So remember, Winter Fire Safety Campaign. If you need more information, please go to www.fire.newsouthwales.gov.au. And remember, if you need any advice regarding winter fire safety, you can always call your local fire station. So thank you so much to the guys at the Fleet Workshop. What you do is amazing.
Thank you. Have a safe winter.